Welcome back to the Becoming Podcast. This is a brand new episode, and today we are going to be diving deep into how do you come back after falling off, or if you feel like you're falling off as an entrepreneur. I know a lot of people, go through stuff, bro, and shit happens, and life comes at you, and you don't even know what to do. But there's a different definition that I have when it comes to falling off. Because for me, falling off is letting the dream die, is quitting, is not even trying again. And that's the difference. Like if you need a break, bro, go for it. It's all right. It's all right. But the issue is when you sign yourself off, when you don't come back to it, when you stop, right? And here's the irony, bro, or the paradox that when something is for you, you always come back no matter how many times you stop. Like this is your purpose, when this is your life's mission, you come back to it every time. You might take a couple weeks off, you might take a month off. It don't matter, bro, but you come back, right? So in this episode, I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you how to come back if you've fallen off, if you feel like you got off track, right? Maybe your habits came back. Maybe just you got in your own head, the self-doubt, the disbelief came in. We're going to get you back on track by the end of this episode. So stick around, bro. I got you. All right. So, and a lot of the entrepreneurs, they're trying to start their own business. They're trying to live their dream, right? They have this calling within them that they have to express. They have a gift. They have something to give. And it's a longer journey than they thought it would be, right? And it takes a lot more energy and time than they thought that would be. And that's why I still say, don't put a fucking time limit on your dream, bro. You got to trust the process in that sense, right? So again, I'm talking to the entrepreneur who feels like they've fallen off. Maybe you stop posting. Maybe you stop building. Maybe you stop believing in yourself and your dream. Maybe you feel like you're falling behind. You're questioning if the dream is still possible. This is for you, bro. And here's the thing. I want you to install this in your mind. When you make a decision, that means that you will have no other possible outcome, no other reality, no other possibility, but the result that you want from that decision, no matter the time, the price, whatever it fucking takes, bro. When you really decide, whatever comes with that result that you're looking for after that choice, you stick with it. You come back to it, right? You don't let it die. You don't give up. You come back. Again, taking a break is different than giving up, right? So that's how I view decisions, man. Like, and I learned that from Tony Robbins as well. He's taught me a lot. But like you have to be, when you make a decision, that means you're fully committed. No other possibility, no other reality except the outcome that you're looking for and that you already decided on, even when it gets rough, even when it's not looking good, right? I remember this, Kevin, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Kevin Trudeau. He's an OG, but he talks about when making decisions when it comes to weight loss, and like you find a way, right? Like when you really decide on something, you find a way. And he talks about like when some people are trying to lose weight and they're like, well, but I can't. I'm diabetic, right? I have an eating disorder. Like I like to eat. I like, I don't like to work out. I have a thyroid problem. Like he gives a list of all these reasons, and some are legit, right? As to why like the person just says they can't do something. And the list just goes on. He exaggerates. It's hilarious, but the point is obvious, right? Like you find a way, bro. Right? Like don't worry about how. Right? Do not worry about the how. It's one of the earliest lessons and foundational lessons that I've gotten. You cannot worry about the how. You just find a way. You'll find a way. You keep trying. You keep showing up. You'll find a way. But like the odds can be against you, 100,000% when you decide. Right? You decide to hop back on. You decide to give it another shot. You're gonna find a way. You always do. I'm telling you, bro. When I moved from Chicago to Sedona, all the odds were stacked against me. There was no logical, strategic way to do it, but I found a way. Right? But as I decided, I didn't care if I had to sleep in my car. I didn't care if I had to fast. I didn't care what the price was. And that's the power of making a real decision. Committed one, right? But also, I want to touch on this. Falling off doesn't mean the dream is dead, right? Like if you have, it means you're human, bro. We're all you're gonna fail your way to the top, right? You're gonna fuck up. I fucked up a million times. Dude, Bob Proctor, you always talk, you always hear this story of like, I can share I can share things with you of how many times of the times that I messed up that will mess up your whole week. They were so bad. It's like it's okay. Be okay with messing up. It doesn't mean that you're a fuck up, but be okay with messing up because it's gonna happen, bro. It's inevitable, right? Be okay with making the wrong decision. It took me a long time to learn, like to really understand. Like it's okay. You course correct. You get it that you through all those wrongs, you eventually get it right if you keep trying, if you keep showing up, right? So don't turn a season into an identity, right? Again, bro, I used to believe I was a failure, that I was a loser, that I was a fuck up. Until this day, some of those like memories and parts try to come through, and I'm like, it's just like it's not. It doesn't. You get to a point where you create a version of yourself that can just see past all the bullshit belief systems, all the bullshit old identities, and it doesn't even like you can snap out of it so quick. You can see the flaws in in your old stories and your old beliefs about yourself because you have so much proof, so much evidence that completely contradicts that, right? Whatever these negative beliefs are just like stories that try to revert you to go back to who you used to be, whatever they may be, like you get to a point where you can see right through it and you snap out of it faster as well, right? Like, but yeah, I used to really believe that, and I would drink and I would do all these things that would, and it came from school. It came from getting bad grades in school. I got a really bad um a really bad score on my ACT. Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing, but dude, I thought I was dumb. People thought I was dumb, and yet here we are, right? Like, there's different types of intelligence, man. And this thing, when you're an entrepreneur, like, dude, do you know how many super successful entrepreneurs? Patrick Davis is one of them. I really enjoy learning from. They don't got no college degree. They don't got no certificate, bro. Like, they read and they learned and they studied and they dedicated so much time for the dream that they believed in, for the purpose that they believed in. They gave it everything. There was nothing to give, nothing left to give, right? Like, and they failed. They had so many businesses that failed, right? I can't tell you how many launches that and how many businesses that I've tried that have failed. And we're still here. We're still here, dude. Like, any average person that would just look at shit logically, they would say, Roy, why are you still trying? They would have told Patrick, why? Dude, just go get a job. But when there's something deeper, and that's the thing, when there's something deeper, bro, this is when it's good not to use logic because logic will sign you off. You look at shit logically, it will. And I'm not saying be dumb, bro, right? I'm not saying, I'm not saying like like I've gotten myself in debt before because I'm like, well, the universe will provide, like, the money will come through, but it didn't. It didn't. All right. So, but I mean, like it's good to be delusional when it comes to your dream, right? Like it'll take as long as it takes, bro. Especially if you keep, again, something you keep coming back to. Like, every successful entrepreneur has failed 1,000 times. All of them. It's what comes with it, bro. And it's what weeds out the true entrepreneurs and the one that just like to be an entrepreneur, right? Like what it comes with. They're dabbling in it. There's a big difference, bro. Big difference, So again, don't turn a season, right? Napoleon Hill calls it temporary defeat. Don't turn a season into an identity. Doesn't mean that you're a failure, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs make this dangerous mistake, dude. They make this one dangerous mistake. They think because they haven't got to where they want to be yet, that there are all those negative beliefs that have come with that phase, right? That have come with a temporary defeat. They turn a temporary season into who they are, right? You had a bad month. Oh, I'm a failure, right? Like you lost momentum. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. That's what comes in. You stop posting. Oh, I'm inconsistent. Falling off is an event, bro, right? It's an event. Failure, it's a moment, dude. And not doesn't have to determine the rest of your entrepreneur journey or who you are, because it gets really dangerous, man, when failure becomes your identity. Really dangerous. Again, I've had a lot of launches and things that did not go how I wanted them to or how I expected them to, but you have to learn from them, right? You make a million mistakes, dude, so you can make the 100 right choices. That's what it comes down. It's inevitable to fuck up, bro. It's inevitable to get things wrong. But that's why you course correct. You really you come back and all right, this didn't work, but this did. Let me double down on that. Right? Like you are not your current season. I really hope you know that. And I'll share this story too. When I was 27, no, I was 25. I wanted to move out of my parents' house so bad, and I had enough income. At that point, I was I was running my personal training studio with my business partner, and I was looking at I just bought my dream car. It was a 2019 Camaro. I still got that car, man, and I was just so happy. I was on top of the world, and now I was looking for a place to live, right? And I was looking at these beautiful apartment homes, but the thing is, I had to make 3x of what I was making to cover it, and I didn't have that, right? I didn't have that, and I was disappointed, but I was gonna keep looking, but I was set. I'm moving out, right? 2 months. I think it was like 1 or 2 months later. That's when I ended up going to Sedona, Arizona for the 4-day spiritual retreat. If I would have got locked down with an apartment, right? Signed that lease, signed the contract, I wouldn't have been able to move to Sedona the way I did. You call it what you want, bro. The unseen hand, the unseen guiding hand, right? Like I knew that was a blessing in disguise afterwards. But in the moment, I was so frustrated because I wanted to move out. I was like, I was there, I was so close, and I didn't understand why. It wasn't until later. Like dude, like I didn't trust the process in that sense, right? Because I wanted to move out so badly, and I found what I found was a beautiful, perfect apartment for me. And again, it's like the way I interpreted it was like, oh, I'm not getting what I want. I I failed, like even with that. But in all reality, I was getting exactly what I wanted and more because man, the cities that I traveled in, the time that I had of myself in Arizona, because I was moving around, traveling to Flagstaff, to Phoenix, Scottsdale, Surprise. But Sedona will always have my heart. But all that, all that I, there was something, there was something there that I didn't even know was guiding me, you can say, or there was something there that was looking out for me. Maybe it's just my subconscious mind, my spirit, but it's crazy how perfectly things worked out for me to make that move because that changed the whole trajectory of my life, of who I became. If I would have been in Chicago still, I just turned 33. And if I would have stayed there another 8 years, I would not be who I am today. I know I wouldn't. I would be so different. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy how things happen like that. And I could have viewed it, the course roll, you can't even move out. Like I could have just bashed myself, bro. And there's no, like no, dude. It, you don't connect the dots. You only connect the dots in retrospect, right? Now at the time I felt rejected. I felt behind, right? I felt like I didn't, I, not, I literally didn't qualify because my income wasn't high enough. But it's like I thought life was saying no, dude. And then I moved to Sedona not too long after, right? Like, again, if I would have got that apartment, I never would have moved. Hope you remember this. Sometimes what feels like failure is redirection, right? Entrepreneurs quit because they misinterpret closed doors. And there's been opportunities that I wish I've had, and I realized later, damn, I'm glad I didn't have that. Because sometimes what you want, what you think you want, isn't really what you want. There's something better, bro. And I don't know, like there's always like there really is something that has your back more than you think. Yeah, they didn't even understand what that is. Again, you can call it God, you can call it your spirit, but only in retrospect you see that why things worked out the way they did, right? A lot of time in those moments, entrepreneurs get their own strength, right? When people fall off, they develop amnesia, right? They forget all the wins and the hard choices they've had to make, and the times their back was against the wall, and they found a way, and they pulled through, and they had to dig so deep within themselves just to take that next step. Like they forget how much they've already overcome, the sacrifices they made, the risks that they've taken, the growth. They focus on what's not working, right? Shame starts taking over. Shame causes hiding. Shame kills momentum. Like, then I can feel myself getting emotional because, man, there was a time where I forgot my own strength. I used to work with ayahuasca, and I'm not saying I'll never work with ayahuasca again, but when I was really into my medicine journey, there was there was a time where, like, obviously you guys remember, I've shared this quite a few times. I used to be an alcoholic, and I never really gave myself acknowledgement, the recognition for overcoming that addiction, right? I never really gave myself the respect what it actually fucking took for me to overcome that. And there was this moment in Costa Rica where this shaman, man, really cool guy. We were talking afterwards, and it was like so casually, like just it was a beautiful moment. He's about to head up to his room, and he tells me, "Hey, Roy." I'm like, "Yeah, well, what's up?" It's like, "I remember you telling me you were sharing about your past with alcohol." And he's like, "How strong you are?" What do you mean? Been man, who's been battling alcohol addiction for 40 years. 40 years. And you overcame that. Shit pierced, man. Because I didn't even, again, give myself the real applause and acknowledgement. What that took, because that shit destroyed me, man. I was drinking half a bottle of Bombay every other day for some time. And I started drinking because I got cheated on. And I don't know, like that moment, it's like, like it hit. It was a real raw moment where feel that strengthened me. And him saying that just meant a lot. It meant the world at that time. And I couldn't thank him enough for that. And it just till this day, I utilize that, man, because you forget your strength, forget the shit that you've overcome because of life's challenges or shit happens, and it pushes you back, or you're not where you want to be. And you forget how strong and powerful you are. So if you're watching this, man, I hope you know how strong and powerful you are. Because I bet you a lot of people couldn't overcome half the shit you've gone through. I'll end this episode here, man. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for listening. I really hope this episode helped you.